Hi, my name is Mel and I work for the International Travel College. I wrote the book, The Service Industry Gateway Workbook, and I'm here to support you in achieving Unit 23755, which is the unit job roller unit, 3 credits at level 3. This unit is all about researching a job. Now, within the service industry, there are many roles to choose from. So I would recommend choosing one that you're familiar with or working close to so that you can get a better understanding of this because it would be useful for you in future. So just a few things. When achieving this assessment, please use blue or black pen. If you do make a mistake, cross it out and do not use twink or whiteout. Make sure that your answers are clearly marked and also please fill in the full page of the assessment page for you to fill in. Simply your name, your school name, and also your signature. The workplace is the company you're working for at the moment, and the date you've started and finished the placement. So the first thing that we're learning about within this workbook is what skills, knowledge, and attributes are required in operating within a role in the service industry. So we've given you the option of using Google. So google.com would be a great start in researching what kind of skills, what kind of knowledge, and what kind of attributes are required in order to perform the role. We have given you some very key skills, knowledge, and attributes to work in the service industry. Some of these may help you achieve the first tasks of your assessment. So from page 29 right through, we can discuss all the knowledge and the skills and the attributes. So just to explain a skill is something physical. It's something that you physically have to perform. Like it would be even the art of performing preparation. It would be the knowledge is the theory. Anything that you would maybe have to go and get formal training for, qualifications like what we provide at ITC. So those are certificates and theory-based. Attributes are something personal about yourself. That could be anything to do with your personal appearance, your fitness requirements, general health, and of course, attributes to do with your personality and attitude as well. So the first task in this assessment 23755 is asking you to state your role choice. You would need to place your role choice at the very top and make sure that you write 5 skills, 5 knowledge, and 3 attributes required in order to perform that role. There are examples there already of what you would be required if you are working in the service industry. You cannot use the same exact examples, please, in your own answers. The next step, once you've gained all that information, is completing task 4. Task 4 is simply evaluating those skills. So I will explain an example. For skill 1, if I said that a skill would be food preparation, I would write in skill 1 box, food preparation. I would put the workplace expectation. So workplace expectation is actually if you were in the job already. What would the work expect from you if you were in the job already? Workplace expectation. Most of those, to be honest, will be either very good or excellent because if they're a skill you need, you would need to be highly trained in that. The second part is saying my current level is. So that's point 2. My current level is. You need to think personally what your level in that skill is. If I thought about myself, I do have kids, I prepare food quite often, so I would say my food preparation skills would be good, but I know that I don't have any training in actually preparing them in a certain shape or a form that would be good for a meal maybe. So if I just put good for myself, then you need to write either a strength or a weakness. You don't have to have both, but you do need to fill at least one in. So my strength is preparing food for my family. My weakness is that I don't have any skill in preparing or cutting food in a certain way because I've never been trained. So continue transferring the skills that you've written in that first task across to the skill boxes and evaluate the workplace and your expectation. Then you do the same with knowledge because there are 5 boxes to fill in for that. And then lastly, the 3 attributes. Don't worry about being honest here. This is certainly not any way of putting you down or saying that you're not ready for the industry. It's certainly just preparing you for what you need to work on. So the next thing we discuss in this unit is about stress, sources of stress. And one thing to be very wary of is that any industry is going to have stress and how you manage it is important. So we've outlined 6 different sources of stress that would be quite common in the service industry. We've written about what that might look like. So in the next task, which is asking you to state 6 sources of stress, we've asked you to refer back on the previous pages for that, for the information. Please make sure you write at least 1 sentence about each source of stress. Please don't just label the actual source of stress itself. So for example, hours of work. Your hours of work might be quite long, or you may work shift work so that you may become tired but still need to be on top of things and be professional. That's explaining 1. The next question is asking you, if you were stressed all the time, constantly stressed out, what do you think might impact on that? What's the outcome that could happen if you continuously were stressed? Well, you just need to write 2 things that may happen because you're stressed all the time. It could be within your team. It could be something that happens with your customer. It could even be something that happens and your manager may notice it as well. So do think about those reasons and the outcomes of sources of stress. The last task in this assessment is about time management. So we go through a bit of information about the importance and why and how to manage your time. In the service industry, it is a very fast-paced environment, which means you need to be on time. There is no room for error. Service is fast, efficient, and time is money. So when we're talking about time management, the next task is asking you 2 reasons why you think you need to manage your time if you work in the service industry. There may be many reasons, and you may have already experienced them already. So please make sure you read the previous pages of information in order for you to answer that next task. Lastly, there are a few ways of being effective and non-effective, and also a few techniques in making sure that time management is efficient. So task 8 is all about your techniques. Just need 2. Now, don't feel the need to fill the space. As you can see on task 8, the space given to you is quite reasonable, but some of the techniques that have been explained on page 44 aren't very long. So please bear in mind that you don't need to write huge amounts for this, simply just 2 techniques. And the last question, task 9. All we're asking you to do, reflecting again on those pages previous, is to write 2 effective uses of time and 2 non-effective uses of time. And to be honest, the effective time management could be simply turned around and then it's non-effective. This is an example of a page to be signed down the very bottom and highlighted in yellow. This is where your supervisor needs to sign your workbook. Remember those instructions, guys. You do need those workbooks signed. That is the completion of this unit 23755, the job roles assessment, which is called Identify and Self-Evaluate the Demands of a Specific Role in a Tourism Workplace. We hope you managed to complete this workbook independently without any trouble, but please remember, if you do have any more concerns, email gateway@itc.co.nz and I'll be happy to support you with your learning. Thanks and all the very best.